mama told me that there would be a day like this. I would run into someone who would just knock me off my feet. Yeah, black kicking it. Hello, good evening, America. How you doing? On a Friday, of course, rainy night. This is old school, rounding first and heading for second. This is the Blackout Show. I'm your host, C Black. What's going out there in your world today? Anything you want to talk about? If it is, call in, please. Share with us. Share with your family or the Blackout. Now, it's 313-488-7788. It's open line. It's Freaky Friday, which means if you want to talk about sex, bring it on. Let's discuss that. But outside of that, this is open line. Anything goes Friday. Tonight's topic, besides Anything Goes Friday, I was thinking about how times used to be on a Friday and Saturday night. You remember the song Just Got Paid? It's Friday night. That was so true to form back in the day. You just got paid. You going out to party, all the clubs, putting on your clothes, putting on some perfume, smelling good, washing the car, wiping off the rims, cleaning the car out. You got your do done. Just, man, that was just, the clubs were so plentiful that downtown it was crazy. They were everywhere. I mean, clubs were everywhere. Everywhere had a club. I'm talking about just you name it, they had a club. I remember people on the east side would go Club Med. On Van Dyke, what was it? UBQ. You can go on and on. It was just clubs everywhere. It's just amazing. What happened to that? Of course, we know what happened. The strip club came around. How could the times be better then than now? I know people are, oh no, that's just you stuck in your ways or what you want to believe that your air is better than this air. How could it not be? Dressing up. The fact you smelling good. Your car, listen to all the things I'm saying. You just got paid. You dressing up. You smelling good. Your car, you wiping off the rims. You about to leave the crib. I named all the things that I find it hard to find these days from a young black man. All the things I just said. You're getting paid, dressed up, smelling good, wiping off your car and the rims, leaving your crib for a night of fun. Into the intro, was having big fun. It was what you did. You talk about it at the job with your friends. Y'all discuss that night away. What club you going to? Who had the most chicks at them? That's what you do. That was just, and you head down. You say, "Oh, I'll meet you there. I'll meet you there. I'll see you there." Or I went to Club Introvest. Or, just I went to Babes Disco, Babes Club. Cabarets. They were in style back then. For those who want to do them, hey, you go to cabaret, get you a setup, ice, drink, cups, You pour your own little drink and mellow out and go out on the floor and dance. I shake my head because it was just good times. And you chasing the women. I don't hear all that. You ain't gotta chase them. I know why you ain't gotta chase them. We'll get to that. But you go out and chase them. That's what you do. You go in. You're looking for them. You trying to get numbers. Man, you trying to get on. And if you ain't getting on that night, you setting up for the next time. You doing what you're supposed to do as a man, a young man. Sowing your oats. That's what you're doing. You're sowing all your wild oats before you get married. You're getting all that done. You're getting something accomplished. Ain't nothing like being in the game. Nothing. Man, you hate when you get old and they kick you out the game. They kick you out the game because you're older. Can't stay in the game with the young people. Fortunately, ain't a lot of game going on today. But back then, oh my God. It was clubs everywhere. And the women, so fly. You just look at them, the way they dress, the, the fact they was in shape, um, smelling good, hair good. Uh, Man, and they knew and we all in the same game. They doing what they do, we doing what we do, and you try to figure out where you fit in at. Same what they was doing. You love the game. Man, they have their lipstick on, their hair done, nails, dressed right, with smelling good, looking good. And when the guy had his car, which was always a thing, go get you a nice car. Let at least make him look. Sometimes it gets you all the way to home plate, but at least they had to look like, oh wow, whose car is that? So you would notice all of that. All right, let's take our first call tonight. Um, let's see what's going on. This is the Blackout Show. Who's calling?
Hi, this is Tina.
How you doing, Tina? What side of town you
Good.
calling from?
I'm actually calling from another state.
Oh wow. So you don't want to stay to state, huh? It might.
Um, I'm
It
I'm
might.
calling from
Go
I'm
ahead.
calling from Georgia. I'm calling
Oh.
from Georgia.
Oh, okay. How you doing? How's everything going for you?
Everything's going pretty good.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, on the Blackout Show, what's your question for tonight?
So I have a relationship question.
Sure.
So I feel like it's difficult to date in this day and age. So like, what advice can you give someone that's like recently divorced, back in the dating world, meeting different guys, but I don't know. I feel like maybe they are either older, trying to be young, or young and very immature.
You say older, trying to be young,
Yes.
huh? So what are you looking for?
I'm looking for someone that maybe is around my age or a little bit older, that's mature, that's not playing games, and looking for a monogamous relationship.
Um, Now, are you coming out? You say you're just going through a divorce.
It's been a few years.
Oh,
I'm a few years post divorce.
all right. Now, one other question. Now, how old are you?
I'm 45.
45. And you're looking for. Now, if you get someone younger, he ain't quite ready. But he might be looking for something because you was probably established, so he might want to be with you because he doesn't have probably what you have, and you looking for somebody older. You know, when we get 40 and 45, nobody wants to hear this. Well, this is just how I look at it. and let's just being honest, myself and anybody, um, if we all were such great catches at whatever, we would all be taken. But probably
Uh-huh.
there's some flaws with us. So now the person I'm looking for at this age, how many flaws do they have? That's something that it's going to be difficult to find because apparently they have a bunch of flaws. The key to me at this age is trying to find someone who is mature enough, and they shouldn't be playing games. There's no games we played at this age. It should be I'm good, whatever. But it's gonna be hard to find because a guy like that, everybody wants. If he's that serious and a mature guy, and he's working, and hopefully he got his own place. Everything he's supposed to have at this age. Well, everybody wants him.
Uh-huh.
He's behind the man because again, it's hard to find to me a good guy who wants to be state, who wants to
So
have some.
can I ask more than one question?
Sure, yeah, yeah, go right ahead.
So, what do you think when a man my age and my age group over 40, not 50, says uh, they're not pressed for sex? And not to say most men, sex rules for most men, I'm not saying that, but you think they gay? You think they lying? They just sleep with a lot of different women?
They say they're not pressed for sex,
Mm-hmm. Like
and
they're not the one that's gonna initiate it. If you want to have sex with them,
they're
then
okay.
you need to initiate. Yeah,
Wow. You don't hear that very often, do you?
you don't.
No, you don't. And for the guy who does that, and you say, "Why is he acting like that?" How many times have y'all actually consummated sex? A few.
Yeah, maybe like 6, 7.
Okay. Is it good?
Yes.
No. Okay. Do you think he thinks good?
Oh, he does.
Women always say that.
Well, he said it. He said it.
He said it was good. So you
He said,
feel if it's good, why aren't we doing it more? Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know if it's good to him. Maybe he's just that type of guy that as long as you initiate things, he's ready. Every shoe doesn't fit everybody the same way. A lot of
Uh-huh.
guys, you won't have to worry about that. They're like, okay, I'm ready. You ain't got to ask me. I'm asking. But every now and then you run to a guy who is reserved like that. He just, no, if you initiate it, he will never say no, but he also won't initiate it. I mean, it's just maybe not his character. His character is to let you bring it to him. And if he's good in bed, and as long as he's not never telling you no, that just might be who he is. It's hard to change people. That might just be who he is. I wouldn't worry
Okay.
about it. As long as he's good in bed, and
Uh-huh.
he's not saying no, then
Uh-uh. Never said no.
no. Well, then don't worry about it. Now, when he starts telling you no, then like I tell anybody about sex, it needs to be a real conversation. It needs to be like, well, okay, listen, I was giving you a little space, but now you telling me no, so I need to find out. And it's just a real conversation. Why is it no? And it needs to be a good reason.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No, thank you for the call.
You're welcome.
Well, have a good night.
You too.
Bye. Hello, you on the Blackout show?
Hi.
How you doing?
I'm well. What's the? I came in a little late, so I'm trying to. I hear most of the topic. I want to comment, but I want to make sure my comment is correct. What's the most of the topic tonight?
No, you really were late, huh? All
Yeah,
right.
I'm a little bit late. Sorry.
Well, first, what's your first name?
Lane.
Lane from what side of town?
I'm originally from Detroit, but I live on the outskirts of Detroit now.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to the Blackout show.
Thank
Uh,
you.
the show initiated from was playing a song from called "Having Big Fun." That was back in the day when we all used to go to the clubs. Clubs are everywhere,
Yeah.
and everybody would dress up on a Friday, Saturday, and put their clothes on, get their smell good on, wipe the men would shine their cars up their rims, clean it out, and go out looking for the women. That's what we did. We chased the women, and the women knew that you was chasing them, so they'd be looking good. And I'm trying to figure out what happened to that. Who? I mean, how did the strip club take all that? I mean, it was clubs everywhere. I rode down 8 Mile the other day coming from work. All the strip clubs was packed. I'm like all of them up and down 8 Mile next to the cannabis. They run neck and neck. Strip club and cannabis. It's like they got a joint
And the liquor store. Don't
right,
forget
and the
that.
liquor
Yeah.
store. So if you ain't get your drink on, you go out there and get your smoke on. Then you go over to the strip club. I'm like, oh well, they got this one shop stopping. So I'm trying to figure out what happened to that. What happened to that? I mean, that was a beautiful time. So how did times today not be better than yesterday? So that's why I brought up. That was the session for the night, and
That's a great topic. See, you know what has changed is that now the women pursue the man, and it's just totally different now. Women are they aren't making the men be men, if you will, and they're making it really easy for the man.
hmm,
Although everyone doesn't agree with some of the things that Steve Harvey was saying and Think Like a Man, a lot of what he was saying was really, true. We should have listened. And for the age group behind us, I feel sorry for them. I do. With the dating scene and what all they go through now, it's just totally different. We didn't. I mean, we may have had an argument and didn't like someone, and I found out like my boyfriend was dating another girl, and I might text her with, or I'm sorry, page her with 304. That was the worst we did back
hmm,
then. Or
hmm.
maybe, soaked her car up if I saw her at Watts, if you will. These days, man, they
Right.
pull up, jump on you, beat you up. It's a whole different era now, and it's sad that our children, because they're really missing out, is what they're doing.
I'm
They're
sorry.
missing out.
I'm sorry. Uh, to our viewers, I thought I heard. I just want to make sure. You said Watts.
Yeah, that was my day. It was Watts.
Oh, what was What, well, I mentioned clubs. What exactly was Watts?
Watts Mozambique was on Finkel, and if you have some more seasoned listeners as myself, they know about that. So we didn't so much inside, we more outside, which we called the let out. And that was at 2 o'clock when it let out. And we mingled. It was thousands of people there. We had a great time. I mean, hundreds, excuse me. We had a great time. There wasn't any fighting. There wasn't any shooting. I'm not saying it was always like, perfect little playground.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? It never got out of hand
Right. You live to
the
go
way
home.
things are now.
You
Yeah.
live to go home. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
like girl, did you see her grimming me? Yeah, next week I'm gonna grim her back. It was okay,
Mm-hmm.
and we just had a great time. And then the clubs that we partied at back in the day, which was like Babes, that was one of the better places. You could stay till 6 in the morning. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't have to worry about someone getting home safe. It was just, and they didn't even have alcohol, and it was constantly packed, and it was a great place, and we had fun. And the things that the younger generation does now, I know it's a new era and this is their thing, but like I passed girls the other day going in the mall, and as I'm going in, these girls are coming out. One of the younger girls, she may be like early 20s. She's like, "You are so pretty," and I was just so impressed. I was like, "Oh my God, thank you." And as she walked past me, she smelled like a puff of weed, and she was also a very attractive young girl. And I was like, "Why is she ruining herself like that?" But it's just a different time and a different day, and they're missing out, and it's sad because our children are missing out.
Well, yeah. But you know what though? Everybody today gets high, so they don't have a problem with that. So
Right.
they can't relate to that at all. And what you said about her, I was thinking about. I remember I was doing taxes, and I come out of the tax place, and there was a car there. The car was just rocking. I mean, boom, 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 boom. I mean, it was full of smoke. I'm like, oh, okay. Now I look in, man, it's 4 women. I'm like, wow. I mean, it was that,
Yeah.
in the music hall, it was calling each other, and, the music was like, you hoes. I mean, it was all that.
Yeah.
And I look in, I'm like, oh, that's women. Oh my God.
So
And,
this is the behavior of the women. What are the men doing?
oh,
And
well,
it's like now. I mean, I hate to say this, and I don't want to offend anyone, but it's like the women have taken on the men role, if you will. And I
no.
listened to one of your sessions one night. You were saying that we need to Like the men aren't stepping up and being men anymore. Bill Cosby made a joke 30 years ago about it. He said, "Man, we're gonna let these women drive. They want to drive. We're gonna let them drive." And that's exactly what's going on now.
Yeah, I heard the guy, and I said on the show the other day, Steve Wilco. I listened to his show, and he was like, "Yeah, man, my wife, she does all the discipline." And I'm like, "Huh?" I'm like, "What do you mean? You got boys? How's the
Yeah,
woman doing all the discipline to your son?" And then I'm like, the son got me looking at you like, "Well, my mama runs the house. My dad ain't got
yeah,
nothing to say." I'm like, so now he's gonna grow up thinking, "Oh, that's the way it's supposed to be. The woman's supposed to
yeah,
run it." And I'm like,
yeah. Because our day it was like, yeah, when your dad gets home.
"Oh, that's
But
it. That's
yeah,
it." Matter of fact, you didn't want me to come home. You like, "I hope he work
no,
over." And and then while you sleeping in the bed, you like, man, you listen to every sound because you're waiting for him
yeah,
to come through the bedroom door and
yes,
tear you up. But I'm sure them days are gone. So,
yeah.
well, at least we're on the same page with that.
Yes, yes, I totally agree. And what's super unfortunate is that the women they don't. It's like they don't know their worth. The younger women they don't know. Some of the older women either. But you know what I'm saying. They need to to calm down a little bit, cover up a little bit. They're pretty girls. They're
Uh,
beautiful women, beautiful
well,
young women. But
uh,
they're chasing the boys. You look like and in my day I didn't chase the guys. We just didn't do that. That wasn't natural. We didn't do it. If I walk past you a time or two, you didn't say anything. Okay, you don't like me, and my feelings are hurt, but I'm gonna keep walking.
well, it's funny you said it because I was talking to a girl at work and she is nice looking girl, and she told me when I see a fine guy downtown, I tell him, "Man, you are so fine." I said, "Wait a minute, you go up and tell the guy that?" She's, "Oh yeah, when I see him, I go right up to him and tell him you are so fine." I'm like, I can't imagine that. And I'm like, if she looked like trash, I would have said, okay, fine, you shouldn't do that, but I get what you're going from.
Yeah,
You gonna create your own attention, but I'm like, she doesn't have to do that. But she said, when I see one, I go right to her and tell him, "You are so fine." I'm like, wow.
Now I have complimented a man. I thought he dressed nice or looked nice or whatever. But what my thing to always say is, like you got, Brent. I just want to say you look very, very nice. And I'm not flirting. I'm complimenting. I always say that because I'm not flirting. I'm complimenting, but you know what I'm saying. I want to, how somebody kind of make your day like those young girls told me that they were so pretty, and I was like, hey, I'm walking, with a whole different step now, because they young girls telling me I'm pretty. I'm like, okay, that's cool,
Mm-hmm.
but it's just different now, and it's sad. I don't want our children to miss out. I don't want them to, just not have a great life. And I don't know, to some people, a great life is partying all night, but that's not what it's all about.
I'm afraid to say, and I said it. What show did I said AB? The other show I said the ship is come and gone. That the good
Yeah,
old days are gone, and
it's gone too far.
it's gone. Yeah, this
Yeah,
prepare for the next chapter, but because this chapter, the women are going to be the men, and the men going to be
yeah.
like, I think I said put the men put their balls on the, like they used to put on the little kitty shoes, their first shoes around the rear view mirror. They their first little
Oh
baby shoe.
yeah, the little baby shoe.
Well,
Yeah.
well, the women put the men balls around there. Now, like, well, give me them balls. I'm gonna hang these balls up here so everybody can see. Cause you done and sit over in the passenger seat and let me drive because I'm running things now. So,
Right.
and the men sat there like, well, go ahead. Just it used to be, and you got me rattling. It used to be when a man always wanted to drive wherever it was because even if he was lost, he didn't want her to know. So he just no, it's this way. I'm gonna keep going even though you basically driving to hell. You're just gonna keep going because you're gonna make it right. Well, these days they sit there and they go, well, I don't know how to get there. She knows, huh? You wait a minute. You don't? No, man. She'll figure out how we gonna get there. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah,
don't
that's
even care. You
unfortunate.
don't even bother you. You don't. She gonna tell you how to get there. You just gonna sit there. Yeah, she'll guide us through it. Okay, all right. So anyway, I do appreciate the call, Lane.
And I appreciate you listening. I enjoy your show every weekend.
Oh, thank you. You make sure you have a blessed night.
You as well. Take care.
Take care. And yes, I was talking about the way things used to be and how that is gone. And I think probably. For the old school men that are caught up, they're old school in thoughts but young, you maintain your dignity. You go out with a bang. You carry that flag across the finish line. Although you might be a few of you, not many, you still represent being a man. You go out, you go to school, you get you a job, you get you a car, you get you a home. You handle your responsibility. You be the man. Don't just be old school. I know it's easier, seems like it's easier taking the shortcut, but you always have your balls. You always have them. You didn't relinquish them. You will keep your man. You'll keep the M and MAN. You'll keep that. Opposed to what they're trying to do. I'm just gonna sit here and live off of her. I'm gonna let her kick me out the house. I gotta drive her car. Man, just keep it real. Keep the old school thought going. And at the end of the day, you ain't begged for nobody for nothing. You ain't pleaded. You ain't robbed nobody. You ain't done none of that because you was being a man. You know, my father and his heir, all of them worked two jobs. At some point in my life, I had two, almost three jobs. I didn't want to do that for a career, but I knew I had to do that to get things done. Well, ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with it. And I felt good about tired, but I kept the M in that man alive. And it's no different here. Don't let don't let the shortcut, I'm gonna be rich, do nothing, live off a woman man, persuade you to be anything else. Just shake your head. I passed by that club. They all at the strippers club. Oh, they got great food. Get carry out. Get curbside. Since the food's so good, you sitting there throwing your money to them chicks. That sounds about the crazy. A young man. You should be give your player card up. Don't ever tell nobody you was a player. That's a lie. And you don't even know it. But your balls are hanging on that rearview mirror also. You think you being something by running up in the club spending money. Man, when I hear, what's that, Kevin Hart and all them, I still can't figure that out. What is that? The strip club? Oh, God. Yeah, I know he's short. I got it. But he's long in money. What he's doing in the strip club that Pookie had the night before. Okay, Pookie had, but he had enough money going that night and get with her. And here you come, Kevin Hart behind her. I don't know. They got the game. Game is all messed up. Anyway, let's go to a quick break, and I'll see you on the other side. Thank you for tuning in again. You want to call in? Call in 313-488-7788. This is the Blackout Live on a Friday night. Yeah. How much time? About another 15 minutes. Hello, welcome back to the second half of the Blackout Show, or the last few minutes of the Blackout Show. Yes. Okay. We overextended. All right. It's a Friday, and it's Freaky Friday. So some of the questions have been pretty cool. But don't forget, it's Freaky Friday. Well, fine. If you're gonna feel uncomfortable, should I make you feel uncomfortable and talk about sex? Uh, yeah. Should I do that? Well, let's answer this call before we do all that. Hello, it's the Blackout Show.
Hey,
How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Your first name?
Pickle?
Pickle.
Yes,
How you doing, Pickle?
I'm well. How are you?
Hey, I'm good. What side of town you calling from?
I'm calling from the east side.
East side. Okay. Well, that's how they. That's how everybody do it, and there's like East Side, and it's really weird about that. How you feel about West Side people?
I
Tell the
love
truth.
them. I'm from the west side. I just live on the east side now, but I'm from the west side.
Oh, you are from because when I first moved, I had to get used to that. People when they would talk about East Side and West Side, it was like, oh no, I ain't from. They make sure that I'm from the East Side. No, I ain't from the West Side. No, I'm from the West Side. I'm like, what's the deal? But
Right.
right. So do you still hear that kind of talk, or is that died down?
It hasn't. It's starting to dwindle just a little bit. It's still out there though.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
even like when we're watching the news and we hear a crime, I'll be like, "Yep, that was the east side." You
Oh.
know, and it's like,
Uh oh.
yeah, these are not doing.
He
And
said, "Go ahead."
but I was listening to the topic and listening to how men have kind of lost their way. We'll say it like that.
That's very nice.
And
That's nice.
and this has been going on for so long.
Yes.
And to me, just my opinion,
Mm-hmm.
it started when society, like systematically, made black women think you don't need him.
Oh.
So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put you on welfare. You're gonna have your own money. You don't need his money. We'll pay your rent. You don't need him to pay your rent. When women started getting comfortable like that, and then started letting men think, I don't need you. My rent is paid. I buy my own food. I do this, I do that, even though it's not them doing it. It's the state doing it. And they started pushing the men out. And then I love my black men, but my brothers need some help. They need to stand back up, and take their rightful place. And stop letting women be men. There can only be one leader in a relationship. I don't mind following you if you're leading me in the right direction. Now, if you're on your way to hell, you go alone. And I'll throw a producer and let you go. And then women now, they're just so brazen. Like, women don't act like ladies anymore. They act more like men than men do. You could go to the sports bar, you'll hear more women holler, spitting, slamming their beer on the table and everything else, at the football game more than men. And it's like, what happened? How did we get back to basics? Like, what happened? How did we get here? Not only how did we get here, how do we get the hell out of here?
Oh, I like it. I like it. I like it.
Women, just like I said, they're brazen. They approach men first. I'm not going to say, me, myself, I wouldn't do it. Now, women can put themselves in a position to be found, but they're not supposed to go out looking for men. Flowers don't chase bees. Where they do that at? It's like everything is just, it's like it's backwards. There was a divine order already put in place before any of us got here. You go against that order, you get chaos. You ask for it.
You are preaching. You hear me? No, you are preaching, and it's really weird because now here's the funny part. You touched on obvious issues, like what say Captain Obvious, but even though you said it, nobody wants to hear that. I'm sure the women don't think you talking about them because they're going, I don't know what you're talking about. And then you're gonna have some other women going, and what's the problem with that? And you got some men saying, I don't care. I'm cool with it. Either way, I don't think men want to be in charge. I think they tired of carrying the water, and basically they like, well, let the woman carry it. I don't want to carry it. I think some guy told me not long ago, well, we done messed up everything. Let the woman carry it. I'm like, huh?
Wow.
So, and this was from an older cat. This cat was he was on 70. So he feels like the woman should be the dominant of the two. So the problem, what we doing now, me and you talking, this podcast, I started the podcast in hopes of trying to help some young men get on course and some young women to do better. And I had issues with both. I had issues with a man not being a man, and I had issues with a woman not caring about her weight. And both probably look at me like, "Shut up." We
Right.
like what we doing. I don't want to be a man, and the woman I want to eat. So what you talking about? So
Right.
I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. When I first started out, I really thought, okay, I can't make a difference. This is Detroit's podcast. It's open. Anybody can call. It's open line. And I felt that, hey, some people call in, share their experiences, just like you telling me about that. You was preaching, and you preaching truth. When people don't want to hear the truth, that's the sad part. They rather for you to lie or don't say nothing than say the truth. So the
Because
things,
it doesn't align with what they're doing.
what they're
Now, if I
doing.
would share something that align with what they're doing, oh, I would get friend requests,
Oh
and then they're
yeah.
going to call and ask you what was her number, everything else. But if it's going against the grain and the way that people are doing it now, just because it works doesn't mean it's right. There's a lot of things out here that work and it's wrong as hell. So just because it's working for you, that doesn't mean it's right.
Oh, I
And
like
I
it.
just don't see how a man could be comfortable staying at home while his wife or his woman is out working,
Oh,
and and he's a house husband.
and
No,
no, sitting there
no,
playing the video game and smoking weed.
exactly. And he can't
You
get a
know,
job because he can't pass the drug test. He
right?
can't get a job, so no license.
Well,
License suspended from tickets and all of this. And what happened to just be responsible?
right.
Because if you can't be responsible for you, how can you take on the responsibility in a relationship? I have to see how you treat you. So if you let all this happen to you, you're gonna let worse happen to me.
Well, I was thinking about this lady. I remember she told me this, and I never forget it. She said, her husband stayed at home, and she worked every day, and she said I stayed in the home, and um, that she would say that every day when she come home, he said, "Well, bring me some cigarettes home." And then he brings some cigarettes. Then the next day, it was bring me some beer home. It was always something. Then she said, okay. But finally, when he said, yeah, I'm so glad you're home. We need some toilet paper. She said, oh, that's it. She said, I put him out the next day because I'm like, so you're not even going to take a dump until I bring home the
Right.
toilet. She said, you got to go. I mean, the cigarettes, okay, but when you said you wait on me to bring the toilet paper home, I'm like, okay, you got to go. So that's how bad that is. So I get where we are, and the sad part is the good old days are gone. And
Yeah.
yes, yes, and everybody keeps hoping for this miracle. Well, maybe the man will wake up. Maybe the woman. No, it's only going to go the. It's not. It's not. It's not.
Yeah.
It's done. It's done. So I guess my call or my pledge is to try to make the few men stand up and say, okay, I'm with you, old school. I'm gonna be a man. I'm not gonna live off the woman. I'm gonna support my family, right or wrong. I'm supporting my family. Oh well,
Right.
what if she do this? Don't worry about that. I did what I was supposed to do. So
Yeah. And I think a lot of it too comes from single mothers. So these young men are watching their mothers work hard, take care of the home. That's what they're comfortable with. That's what they did. That's how they grew up. Now I'm not saying that all men will become accustomed to that and think that this is the way that it's supposed to go. But these women that are raising these men and they don't have a good male role model, even if she's unmarried and daddy in prison, whatever. There are mentoring programs that she can put him in so that he can see what upstanding men do. Instead of always watching mama doing the shopping, mama getting my clothes, mama cleaning, mama washing, mama's doing everything. And in his head, he's processing it wrong and thinking, okay, this is what a woman is supposed to do. I'm going to get me a woman just like mama. And what he do, he get a woman
you get a
just
woman
like
like
mama.
mama.
And he's sitting at home with the Xbox with a blunt hanging out of his mouth, waiting on mama to come home and bring something to eat. Waiting
I
on his woman, I'm sorry, to come home and bring something to eat.
I like
All
it.
attribute some of that You
I like that. She said, "I seen what my mom was doing. I'm gonna get me a woman like mama."
like that.
I like it. Okay. Hey, look here. You said your name is what again?
Pickle.
Pickle. Okay, how can I forget? Yes. Okay. All right, Pickle. Hey, listen. Don't you make yourself don't make yourself a stranger. Call in. You know, I don't do live shows enough, but probably every Saturday I'm gonna try to do live shows. Other times it mostly recorded, but I'm gonna try to do some live shows every Saturday. Invite your friends. Subscribe. Give me a thumbs up, and I absolutely will. Make sure you call back.
I sure will.
Been very innovative.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you for yours. Have a good night.
You too. Bye bye.
Yeah, I like that. They watch what uh, mama's doing. They said they gonna get them a mama, a girl just like mama. Oh, I like that. I do. I the more I think about it, because growing up, little girls used to say all the time, "I want somebody just like my daddy." Hardworking, good guy, treat me right. Treat the household right. And now the guys are saying, "I want somebody just like my mama, who gonna take care of me, so I can get high and play the game, and give me some Jordans, and make sure my cell phone working." And I remember a guy telling me his mom was all on him. She was all on him, pitching a fit. Hey, you did this. You did this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. And he said, "Yeah, I get all that. She mad about that, but why'd she turn my cell phone off?" He didn't hear nothing else that she said. But when she said, "And I'm gonna turn that cell phone off," oh, it was crazy. I mean, she was complaining like crazy. Hey, you did this, and blah blah blah. But I'm gonna turn that cell phone off. And soon he said, "I recognize everything else. I got it." She right. But why she got to turn the cell phone off? So I guess that falls in the realm of where we going today, right? Okay. I appreciate you guys' time for the night. Can we wrap up night, EB, or we can wrap it up? Let's wrap it up. Let's call it a night. I do appreciate everybody calling in on a Freaky Friday. And don't be a stranger. Make sure you subscribe. Pass it on. We're trying to be the voice for Detroit. 313. Lock it in. Call it in. We're here for you. Open discussion. Open mic. I'm not the smartest guy in the room. I'm just one of the guys in the room. All right. Have a good night. This is OG rounding third and heading for home. Thank you, everybody. Good night.